Autism Up means to me hope.
Autism Up would equal knowledge.
Community.
Autism Up is hope.
In a word, Autism Up means family.
Support.
Family.
So it's a single word answer, but really it connects you to so much.
The greatest part of being part of Autism Up is being part of a community.
Cooking class.
When I went to Girl Power, I felt very happy.
I just like having fun with my friends.
Oh yeah, I love Autism Up.
I do this group called Alpha U, where I get to hang out with my friends from Autism Up, and it's helped me grow stronger as well as learn.
When you get the autism diagnosis, you do feel very isolated.
Yeah.
I think we felt alone. I think we felt judged. I think, you know, when you're in the middle of Wegmans and your son is having a complete meltdown and everybody is staring at you, it was brutal.
And I remember feeling extremely isolated, very lonely.
When we went through the processes at school, the testing and all of that stuff, and we found a psychologist. And after all of that testing, she brought us in and she sat us down and she said, he has autism. And for me, it was a relief. We had an answer.
There's not a lot of awareness with children that do not have autism. And so like certain things that she may do, they don't understand.
Even my sisters, they can't understand that exactly like other moms from Autism Up can.
Once you're in that circle, the autism circle, that's a powerful place to be.
When she was initially diagnosed, there really wasn't much in terms of being able to talk with other parents, get information, programs that were available. You do feel isolated.
There are still days where I have to step back and go, okay, yep, I forget.
Where I have to remind you.
Well, yeah.
He's on the spectrum.
Well, there was a day, hey, I set the table without being asked. And my response that I had to swallow as soon as it came up was like, oh, of course, you do, you live here, and, you know. But I said, hey, awesome, thanks so much. Yeah, great, no problem. But the beaming pride that you did it without being asked.
Peyton gets to interact with peers that he really enjoys when he's at Autism Up and taking the programming there.
The thing I think Andrew really has learned already through being at Autism Up is to be proud of who he is and to understand more about autism and how that affects him in particular.
As Autism Up grew, people began to know each other, people began to get together, people began to put together programs and to advocate and provide information for new parents and provide information for parents that are ahead of you and you need more, support.
The summer camps that Autism Up runs through the YMCA give our kids a chance to fit in where they don't typically fit in.
Autism Up was great in the sense that they provided recreational programs, educational programs when she was growing up. Now we're all kind of at that point where now what?
I'm raising my other son to be compassionate and to, love his brother, and he's going to have to make some decisions for Brett in the future.
My fear is that she may not get the resources and have the resources that she needs to be able to interact in society.
I have a child who's going to be exiting the school system at an arbitrary age of 21. That leaves us entering a new frontier where there just is very little available. There are a few employment opportunities, there are a few housing opportunities, there are a few educational opportunities. Now we have to choose life paths as opposed to school paths.
The agencies have connections, but quite honestly, they're very limited in the community.
Finding opportunities for kids with disabilities to integrate into the community is very difficult. And Autism Up can be the lead step in to work with businesses or recreation or whatever the place is that does not have the skills to accept, so that they're able to come in and participate.
As we look to Peyton's last year of transitional services under the school age system, he has only 2 choices. Neither one is perfect, and neither one is available to him after next year.
It's a lifelong process of trying to find out what will be his destination, group home.
The independence factor, just, you know, he's so capable of doing so many things, but there's still judgment that you don't know if it's there.
Andrew's got one more year left in school, so it's exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. He is really excited to be able to move on to that next phase in his life and to be a real adult with a job and an apartment like every other 20-something.
I'm able to transition into the community. I'm gonna try to get a job that's considered full-time and a job that pays me.
I've always tried to be very optimistic, but the reality is some days it does feel very hopeless.
I don't know if I think 20 years down the road yet, but my hope right now is that he gets into college. That's my number one.
The way that I know that I can get through it is that there's this group of families and professionals at AutismUp, a community that's reached out, that's formed collaborations throughout our community, that there's a way to highlight what is needed and a way to get there, but we have to do it together.
I know he's capable, and I know it's what he wants, but how do we do that? What does that look like?
There are still some significant academic roadblocks that could prevent him from getting a regular high school diploma. So then what do you do? And so what are those avenues and choices?
What I feel like I need the most help with is time management and self-advocating.
One of my fears is that when he's out in the community that he gets taken advantage of.
Looking both ways before I cross the street, as well as giving people enough space.
My dreams for Gabby, like my hopes for my other daughter, my typically developing daughter, are that she live a meaningful, fulfilling life, to live life to her potential.
I want my children to feel happy, as any parent would. But in order for them to feel happy, they have to feel secure in knowing that they have a place to go, a place to be, a place to give back. And those are things that are difficult in our community to find because it's not a very inclusive community.
What gives me tremendous hope is that AutismUp can explain what the urgency is for additional services, especially for transition time frame. But we can't do it alone. We need the help of all the stakeholders in the community to offer whatever time, talent, and treasure they have to help us with this.
So many other people talk about autism needs to be cured, autism needs to be fixed. And AutismUp offers you support and hope and a future.
I think that those who understand autism and understand our community and the needs of our kids, and there are so many of them, really understand that when you open the door and create an opportunity for one child, you're really opening the door for so many more kids coming behind kids like mine. There are so many kids and so many needs and so many families, and again, so many needs.
The Navigator concept actually started out in the medical community. AutismUp partners with the Levine Autism Center at the U of R to house a family navigator. What we have done is something that no other place in the country has done. We have taken that concept of medical navigator and brought it out away from the medical setting into the community, brought it to where the families are instead of waiting for the families to go and find the service.
I think people need to understand that Autism Up is a lifeline for so many families that don't know where to go.
To the people watching this video, I want to say thank you. Knowing that Autism Up started in 2004 with just a few moms sitting around having a cup of coffee, to the incredibly diverse and rich organization that we have turned into is in no small part due to the support that we have in the community.
We rely on fundraising for 75% of our budget. So this call to action is really important because it also allows us to do things that the regular systems are not going to be able to do.
The best way to do that is with finances, resources, volunteers. Everything helps.
You know, it takes a village to raise a kid like Brett, and Autism Up is our village.
One of the reasons I support Autism Up, it's not just because of my child and my family. It's because I know so many other families that are also facing the same challenges. And when we open the door for one child and one family, we're opening the door for so many others.
Don't give up, please.